Okay, so we're spraying today. A lot of people call organic farms no spray farms, but we're not organic, and a lot of organic farms certainly spray. But what we're spraying, you could drink, and it would probably be really good for your gut flora.
Yeah, it would.
Or fauna, or whatever it is that's in there. We're just adjusting the nozzles right now on the sprayer. We've been brewing 1,500 gallons of compost tea, and we put some fancy stuff in it to make it good, some food for the microbes, and we've been getting them growing, so they're pretty happy. We brewed it for about 30 hours, and about every 5 hours I would grab a test tube like this one right here, and I just barely took this sample about 10 minutes ago from the spray rig, and then I take it in under the microscope and I look at it and I see how much life there is in it. What I'm looking for is bacteria and protozoa, mostly flagellates. If you start seeing ciliates, then you know you're starting to go anaerobic, so you got to watch out. So but we're looking for bacteria and protozoa, and so that's pretty awesome. So the compost tea right here, and we just bought the products, the humus to put into the compost tea. I have compost I'm making right now. I've built a modified Johnson Sioux bioreactor, which they say don't do it any other way, do it our way. And they know what they're talking about, so maybe mine won't work. But I wanted a hotbed for my greenhouse, and that was my #1 priority, and it worked. It did its job. But the compost that's in there is growing really good. I know I'm getting good fungal growth, and we want to harvest that later on this year. We want it to be there for about a year, and then it'll be ready to harvest. And then we can use our own compost that we make to do this kind of an operation. We just started spraying, so they're just working out some kinks. They probably have a little bit of a plug from something that was in the tank lines over the winter. So that's pretty awesome.
How many acres will they spray?
We have 450 irrigated acres, and we're going to cover all that. And so that's all these fields right down here. You can see them starting to turn green. The cattle are right there. The first thing I did when I got here, my first job was to spray probiotics onto the windrows of hay. We had a guy with a swather come in and cut the hay. I went along with a four-wheeler and a sprayer, and we put the probiotic inoculant on the hay. And then the baler came right behind it, and we baled it up green. And the hay looks terrible. It looks like it rotted, which it's how it looks, you know, because it's not like silage that ferments anaerobically. This does do something. It's a little bit different process because we put that inoculant in it. And so before we put the cows out, we took a bunch of that hay. We took samples from a whole bunch of bales to get a representative sample, and we sent that to a lab, paid quite a bit of money to have that be analyzed, and then they tell us if there's mold or any kind of toxins that would be bad for the cattle. And it came back, the nutrient level was about the same as just, you know, average hay, I mean good hay, and the stuff that we were seeing that might be bad, that could be toxic, it was just a kind of a yeast type of a structure, which is expected with the probiotics that we put on there. So the cows have been eating that hay this winter. We move them through the fields. You know, we just intensive graze them with an electric wire. And so we give them about 10 bales every couple of days, and when they eat that down, we move them to the next section. And they only have about 5 more moves, and then they'll be out of hay. And so we're glad that the grass is turning green.
Glad it's getting warmer.
And the cows are really glad the grass is getting green. So that's good. Well, that's good. We had about 230, 250 cows, something like that. I can't keep track of it because they come and go. But there was, that's what we started with. And now there's about 500 because they all had calves. So that's pretty exciting. All right, here he goes again. He's got his sprayer going. He's zooming along. He's got Peter in there with him. We told Peter a few minutes ago when we got the tank filled up, we said we were waiting for you to get here to drive this. He had a worried look on his face. He goes, I don't know, I want to drive it. Peter's pretty awesome.
He's been fabulous to have here. He's just a great,
so interesting thing.
Great all-around young man.
This sprayer, as I told him a few minutes ago when Jared made his first round, I said, Peter, you don't live till you drive something like that. He's loved driving the old hay truck over there. The
one that you have to pop the clutch and go downhill to get it started?
Yeah, it's an F7. It's an F750. You get all the macho, 30-year-olds in the cities with their big shiny trucks, and they're zooming up and down the highway in the city, and I've always smiled at that. And they're thinking, I got my F-150. Some other guy pulls up to the stoplight by him, and he thinks that he's something else because he's got an F-250. Well, Peter's out here driving an F-750.
It is a big truck.
Yeah, I don't know what year it is. I think it's a late 60s, early 70s model. I can't tell. It's too old to tell. But it's pretty good.
That's just fabulous.
So we're spraying this stuff. I just finished foundation courses with Elaine Ingham in her soil food web school, and that was a fabulous course. If anybody wants to have
it was fascinating just listening to some of the things you were learning. It was amazing.
Yeah, if you want a brilliant course to take to be a better gardener, a better human being on this planet, take that class.
I'm going to second really that. I'm actually going to agree with that. The whole concept of being a better human being, and it starts so small. There's such a respect for life in it. It kind of, this is going to sound funny, but it kind of reminds me about the old stories about Saint Francis of Assisi, who wouldn't bathe because he didn't want to kill the fleas, right?
Oh,
it's a little much for me but the idea of preserving all life and respecting all life. Listening to Elaine discuss how you had to have a balance. If you got rid of all of the bad things, you wouldn't have the good things either. It's like what I'm learning in psychology, right? If you try to get rid of your bad emotions, the things we label bad emotions, there's no way to do it without getting rid of the good emotions. You have to have both. What you have to do is you learn the skill of cultivating the good emotions, the good experiences. And what you were learning was exactly the same, only on the physical plane.
That's right. What you were saying about the guy with the fleas.
Yeah, St. Francis.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm holding these thinking, oh man, I better get these guys in there under the microscope quick because they could be dying. I'm sitting here holding them. I've taken them out of their environment. And then I get them on the slide, and if I find a certain protozoa that, and I'm watching it, and it starts having personality, and I start liking it, and I'm doing my microbe count, and I lose count, and I have to start over because I spend 15 minutes, I'm wasting my whole life in the microscope. But you start liking this individual, right?
Yeah.
Finally you get tired, you have to move on, you have to live your life, and then what do? You take your slide out. I've got like 10 slides in there that are still dirty because I don't have the heart to wipe them off, man. Those little guys were
little life forms.
They're gonna die anyway, but it's like, so
they become very, the life of it becomes very real to you the more you study.
It's true, it's so interesting. I mean, it seems so disgusting to not take a bath.
And to be fair, he actually washes his hands more now than he did before.
Oh, it's true, man. So, the last couple of months, my hands are clean. They don't look clean right now because I've been working like crazy today, but I'm a much cleaner person than I used to be because I know what's in there. No, I had a couple of samples. I was growing them because I was trying to. I wanted to learn what the anaerobic bacteria looked like, and the anaerobic ones are the ones that cause disease. So I went and found some interesting samples, and I got them together, and I grew them for a while until I could see them. And I found spirochetes, and I found spirella, and I found some bad things. And I don't know what species they were, because you have to do DNA sequencing to figure that out, and I can't do that. But those are things like E. coli and listeria and like super bad human pathogens that can kill people.
Right.
And so,
but yeah, wash your hands.
Yeah, you know, I mean, none of that stuff is in here. I've been watching.
Yeah, we've been watching that like a hawk.
And we've had we're keeping it aerobic with a big powerful air pump. So,
oh, they're coming up for a part.
Pretty awesome. Yep, they're gonna work on it. That's good.
It's kind of the fun of an older piece of equipment. It's like
those machines. I think you can call me a liar if you find out different, but I think those get close to $200,000 if you buy one new.
It's amazing. It's worth keeping it going.
But that one he got it used. It's a rust bucket, but he got it used for $5,000. So that's pretty awesome.
He's probably one of the only farmers in America who's spraying the equivalent of apple cider vinegar on his crops with it too.
You know, some apple cider vinegar went into that batch. It really did.
I'm telling you, I love the Sorensens. I love their vision for what you can do with ranching, responsible ranching. It's just.
Well, if you can't.
I mean, it's a little different. I mean, it is not what you're going to run into most places, but there is some serious dedication, hard work, and belief in the value of life that just goes into every minute of this work.
If you can't drink it, we don't use it on this ranch.
Yep.
And I like that. That's the way it should be. It's the way the jalapeno is and all the vegetables. Anything we apply to those vegetables, if we won't drink it, we don't put it on there.
It's a way of life.
So,
anyway, this is gorgeous. I'm glad William came in and got me because I didn't even realize they were doing this. I've been so busy with schoolwork. He's like, come film. So here we are. I'll share it with you guys.
Listen to that dove.
I know. It's pretty glorious. Killdeer, doves. In the mornings you can hear the robins. Water.
Okay, gotta go.
Beautiful quality of silence where you can hear more.
Let's go look at these samples.
All right, come visit us. Come see this for yourself.